Hi there, welcome to How to Use Google Drive on your PC. We got some requests from this from the last video I did on how to do this for the Mac. So what I'm going to do today is I'm running this live on my Dell Venue. I'm going to show you how to install Google Drive PC on your Dell Venue. We're going to sync one folder on your desktop, which will also go to Google Drive in the cloud. And then we are also going to connect that folder to your Google Classroom About page. So essentially what we're going to be able to do when we're done is you're going to download a file from the internet into a folder on your desktop, which gets synced online, which is also available to your students to view or edit in Google Classroom. So we're going to make a quick and easy way for you to gather all your resources for your kids, as opposed to downloading something to your desktop, going to Classroom, opening a pose, making there, or organizing your drive. So this should be able to help you out, make things a little bit easier. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my screen sharing, and I'm going to go to my Google Drive page. My Drive. Now, you're going to download a local program called Drive for PC. And you can get to that by hitting your little cog on your profile picture in your Google Drive. You have to do this on a computer. You could do it on your laptop, your desktop, your MacBook, but you gotta go to download Drive right there. And I just downloaded this program not too long ago, and it didn't take very long to process. Okay, so now you're on this screen. This is where you're gonna pick your platform, and we are going to hit that little blue box here. So we're going to pick Mac and PC, and you accept to the terms, and I should start to see it downloading. Okay, now it's going to ask me, where do I want to download the actual install file? Typically, if I was using Chrome, this would go right into my downloads, so I'm going to put it in my downloads. Now I have it there, and I've already downloaded it, but we're going to go through the whole process just so you can see. So I'm going to save. Okay, so I've already downloaded it. I find that file. I double click on it. Now I'm going to be prompted. It's going to ask me, do you want to make changes? You might see a little bit different options appear here, but I'm going to allow yes. Process. To the internet. It's going to download. Now there's a very important thing we're going to do in our setup here is you do not want to sync everything in your Google Drive. If you do, it's going to fill up your device to the max. So we're only going to select a folder or two. Okay, that's complete. When I've done this with some people, I wasn't able to find it. Sometimes I had to close it, and I had to minimize stuff. It was in the background. But if I hit the hidden icons, I should typically see something that looks like Google Drive, and it looks like it's not on there just yet. So it looks like the process is still rolling. But eventually what you will see is a little Google Drive logo down there in the bottom. So let's see if I go to my apps, if I have Drive. Okay. If you were on a Windows laptop by Horry County Schools, you probably won't have to go to, you would just hit your home button there. It'd be the same exact thing. You should see Google Drive in that list. But I should be getting a screen that's going to start prompting me for the setup of my account. And typically it should go fast. Okay, here we go. Google account. Okay. Then you want to hit next, and next, and next. You saw all those little options they tell you. Now this is the very most important step right here, is the sync options. Do not go further because you're going to have a hard time fixing this later. So go to sync options here. And right now it's going to do everything in my drive, which is a lot. And then it's going to fill up my venue before I even start the sync. So instead, I'm going to pick only these folders. And now I can uncheck the individual ones. My easiest thing to do is to check all folders and then deselect all of them. And probably what I would do is I would probably check Classroom, because all your stuff for your students would go right into Classroom there, and you could save that locally to your computer. You can access all their work quickly that way. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to do the one called Just for the Drive PC. And basically, I'm only doing that one folder because I only have one picture in there. And that means it's going to download from the cloud locally to my computer. And I don't want to do a lot right now, but I would recommend you check a few folders. But I would heavily recommend you check Classroom. Okay, and now we're going to start to sync. So now we have a folder called My Name under Google Drive. And it's syncing the stuff right now, so you can see it right here too. And I can quickly access my Google Drive. So it's going to download. I should eventually see that one folder and that one picture. And just so you can see what that looks like, that one picture and that one folder is on the web, and that was called Just for the Drive PC video. And there's my one picture. And again, I only did one picture, one folder, just for the sake of this video. Do you see down here in the lower right, remember that little icon I was telling you about before? That tells me Google Drive is syncing. And it's preparing to sync 4,000 files. Hopefully it shouldn't do all those, because I did check those things initially about which ones I wanted and which ones I did not. And it's going through all my stuff right now. Hopefully that number should change in a little bit, because 5,000 is going to take a long time. So I'm going to double check my settings. Mind you, if you hit that button before that said maybe you went too fast and you didn't check that one folder, this is how you can get back into it and fix it. So if you hit your little drive icon and it's glowing because it's currently syncing, I hit my little three dots here. And I'm going to pause it so it doesn't even think about it anymore. You can see I have the pause button now. So now I'm going to hit the three dots, and I'm going to go to my preferences, and it should only do that one folder. If you're having any issues with your account, you can go into your account, you can advance them. You shouldn't worry about anything in advance. And if you have any folders and you're shared with me, you can you can get those with that tip down there. So you can access them. And you can get that by either dragging or right click and say add to my drive. Okay. So it looks like that's good. And we're gonna unpause it by selecting resume and let that prepare. I should not be getting 5,000 files. It's probably just going through my whole drive, and it's thinking about which ones do we need to put on here, which ones do we not. So while that's thinking, we're going to start downloading some stuff and how quickly we can get it. So this is the next part. Now that we've done the heavy lifting of installing the program to our computer, we need to get some files into that folder. And that folder is now locally on my computer. Just go on Google Drive. Anything I put into this folder will automatically upload to drive.google.com, and it will sync it. Basically, you can make a change locally on your desktop, automatically syncs it online. So let's save a picture or a file or two into this folder. So we're going to go online, and I had already was looking before for some graph paper. And let's say I have my students, I want them to use graph paper in my math class. You can see my screen of a PDF file looks a little bit different than what you might be used to. That's because I have the add-on / extension called Kami, and it just makes working with PDF files on the computer a little bit better. I can annotate on my venue and things like that. So I need to download it. So I hit my little export file here. And with Kami, they also have a support right with Google Drive. You can save it directly to there, but for our case, we're doing your computer, the original one. And now I need to make sure where it's going. It's not going to go in my downloads. It's going to go into my Google Drive. So I select Google Drive. There's nothing in there just yet, and it's called full page, and we hit save. And there's that PDF file. It's now going into there. Now let's see what else we got. I found a spreadsheet on, let's say my math kids want to use this too. So I'm going to download that. And that's also going to go into my Google Drive. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So Google Drive, we have those two files there. And if you were to zoom in really, really close, there's an icon of a little curved blue arrow down on the icon. And basically what that means is I can get this locally on my computer, but it's not in Google Drive just yet. If it was synced online, that little blue curved arrow would be a green check. Let's see if maybe we could zoom that in for you to see. There you go. So you can see the difference now. So it means it's either waiting to be synced or it's in a queue. And where are we at? We're still preparing to sync 14,000 files. It's going to do that for my first time because I have such a big drive. And probably a lot of you have a lot of old Microsoft files stored on your computer. And whenever you're sharing those with your students, it gets a little crazy with the formatting and sharing files. It ends up making subsequent copies for your kids. So I would recommend whenever you share files with your kids, you're sharing the Google Docs version of it, meaning not Word files if you want your kids to work on it, but the Google Doc. Not an Excel spreadsheet, but a Google Sheet. Not the PowerPoint, but the Google Slide. And that's really for if you want the kids to type on it. If you just want them to view it, that's fine. But there just seems to be an issue when you start to have your kids working on it, editing those files. It causes some headaches. One thing to kind of help you prevent that is there's a Google Drive add-on, which I'll post in the description of this video, where you can make working with Microsoft files a little bit easier. But one thing I always like to try and do is check off a little box in my Google Drive that will automatically convert it. And this should help you out a lot in the future. So if you hit the gear and then you go to your settings, make sure this convert uploads box is checked. And basically what that means, if I were to upload a Microsoft Office document into the website, it will automatically convert it into a Google Doc. There's going to be some formatting issues. There might be some text that's not compatible. It does not handle tables well, I can tell you. If you have an old PowerPoint with a lot of animations, it causes some issues as well. So just throwing it out there, but it may be better than you having to reinvent the wheel entirely. Well, I have a file that I want to upload, and we could see if it goes the other way. By the way, anything that I'm online and I put into this folder, it will automatically sync to here as well. So it's a two-way street. You change the name of a file, it will reflect that change online. You add a file on the computer, it will add it online. If you add a file online, it will add it to the folder locally. I have a Word file I just had saved, and I'm going to put it directly into here. There's two ways I can do that. I can hit the new file upload button, and I saved that to my desktop before. And you can see this is a Word file, the big W, and I'm going to open it. And now it's been converted into a Google Doc to help me save space and make sharing a lot easier. And that's because I had that little box for converting set to go. There is a downside with the syncing thing locally where it will not convert for you like that. And once we can work on it, we can start adding this folder to Google Classroom. Hopefully by then we'll have everything synced up. So let's say this folder right here, which is also the one saved locally to my desktop, contains all valuable resources that I want my students to access throughout the semester. As I'm looking online to download files, it goes into that folder and it's instantly shared and available to my students. And if they want to be alerted to it, there's a Google Chrome extension called Checkerplus for Google Drive, where you can get desktop alerts. It's something you might want to add if you would like, but it can be a little annoying as well, especially if you have a lot of people working in a shared folder. You'll get a lot of alerts. Okay, so I'm going to add this folder for my students to view. The About section isn't really something a lot of people capitalize on, but it's where you can put a lot of stuff. So for my teachers, I have my agenda, the long-range plan. They can go to my Google sites that I made with my team about resources and all these other resources here. This folder would take the student directly to their work. For me, when I click on this folder, I can see all students' work. And a lot of people get confused with that, because what we're going to do is we're going to add an additional folder of resources. And they think that they can just add it there, but that doesn't do it. So the first thing you want to do is on the About tab in your Google Classroom that you are the teacher of, scroll down right underneath the little title optional syllabus thing and go down to where it says Add Materials. And for this one, I'm going to say, just for Drive PC video, test. So you can upload a file from your computer. You can attach a file from your Google Drive, a YouTube video, or a link. Now, even though that this folder is in Google Drive, you can't do this button here. Instead, what you have to do is use this little chain. And we're going to get the shareable link from that folder by hitting, I like to call Mr. Plushead there. Hit Mr. Plushead, and it tells you I can type individual names, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to get that shareable link. First thing, click on it's going to turn on so anyone with the link can view. If you want your students to edit these documents, you would hit Can View and Can Edit, and those would be your main two options. But I just want these teachers to view my stuff. Copy the link, done. Go back to Classroom, hit the chain, and now we're going to paste it. Once it's been pasted, you add it and you post it. And we scroll down, there's the name of our folder. So if they were to click on that, or they can access maybe all of my PowerPoints. As I started to unveil them, they can go back here and they can review all the PowerPoints I have posted. Notice we still only have that one Google Doc and that one picture, because the stuff in the folder that was saved locally has still not synced. Okay, so now that the process has run through, it's gone through, it's analyzed my entire drive, and it has now figured out, okay, which folders need to be synced locally to this computer. Again, if you check the whole drive, it's going to fill up your computer. And it might not be something that you just added one more file, but the beauty of Google Drive is the collaborative aspect. And as you start to share more folders with people, especially something like Google Classroom, as a lot of big, heavy files or videos or audio starts to be added into there by someone else or even a student, it will fill up your computer very fast. So be thinking about which folders do you want to check, which do you not. So let's see what our screen share looks like now. And now that we have everything connected, you can see now down in the lower left-hand corner of my screen, I no longer have Google Drive flashing, and it tells me that my sync is complete. When I click on it, before it gave me a little progress bar, it told me the last files that were synced. And if I could pull that up, I would show you, but apparently it doesn't want to sync. Not only is this folder going to sync that one folder, but anything else that is in my regular drive that is not in a folder will also come along. So for that issue, try to use your folders as much as you can. These files ended up saving locally to my computer as well. So you should see now, if I open up that folder on my computer, I should have these documents along with the two that I saved. Still not showing up for Okay, so let's see. And there we go. So there they are there. We're still trying to sync those two that I downloaded originally, but there's my folder, and there's the wedding file and the picture that I showed you online before. So here's another thing you can do with this add-on, if you saw through the pictures, is you can share, view it on the web. So now if you have a file locally on your computer and you want to share it off, I'm going to right-click on this document. I'm going to go to Google Drive, and now I'm going to hit share. And now I can quickly do the share settings of this document like I would within my Google Drive window. Who do I want to edit it? Or maybe I want to go to Google Drive and go to View on Web. Oh, there we go. So quitting it, turn it back on, fixed it. And there they are there. Okay, now do you see the difference? This is an Excel spreadsheet. We are synced. I had to turn it back on. And sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to turn it off if there gets to be a bug, or probably what happened, it was going through 50,000 of my files first time, might have overwhelmed it. So now what I need to do is make sure that the conversion process is correct. And there's a little bug that I was trying to tell you about before, and we'll see what it looks like now. So let's minimize our little Hangout window. Okay, now notice on the website we have a picture, a PDF, a Excel file, and a Google Doc. Since I dragged a file into that folder, oh, remember when we saved that into there before? Just because we saved it here, it did not convert it. So if I want to convert that, you have to actually drag it into the website. So let's lock our windows over by dragging them all the way to the left, to the right. And now if I want to turn this Excel file into a Google Sheet because I want my kids to work on it, we're going to drag it into this window. And now that it's been brought over to this window, you see how it's converted into a Google Sheet. So that's something you want to work around. And notice it instantly saved it backwards to here. So my students can use the Excel file or the Google Sheet version. You don't have to worry about PDFs because they work both ways. And to come full circle and to go back to our Google Classroom, your students would click on this folder as more files become added, and they can access everything that you start to add up. There are some other add-ons and extensions such as Save to Drive that you can play around with to make your saving of files a little bit quicker and easier. But there's those right there. So let's say if I go to my apps, you should find your little app store for Chrome in the upper corner. And then you would go to your web store. You can also go, I think, to web store or chrome.google.com/web store. But I'm going to look for extension called. And you can see I already have one on here. And you can save it directly into there. So let's say we were online before with that PDF file. You right click on it, save that link to your Google Drive. But it just puts it into my drive. If I want to change it, I can make a default destination folder. So in this case, to keep everything working together, I can make it that one thing. So it's going to save that as a picture though, for me. So let's try another one. You can also rename it there if you want. All right, let's see, are those in there? There's that grant chart. I'll double click on it. Okay, apparently it doesn't like that file. Well, it's an extension that can help you save things a little bit quicker and easier that you might want to play around with. And I think the other extension I was telling you about was Office Files, Office Editor maybe? Office Editing, this is another one I like to try and use. It helps. So you can play with that one, or you might want to play around with that one if you wanted to. So I think that is about it in a nutshell. I think we've gone over some of the basics. So we showed you how to go from, let's see, we got it on GoogleDrive.com. We installed Google Drive locally to your computer. We synced one folder with your computer to Google Drive Online. And that one folder is also a resource in the About page on a Google Classroom. So as I download stuff from the internet to that folder on my desktop, automatically shares it with my kids in Google Classroom and anyone else that I might have been invited in my Google Drive folder to view it or edit it. And there might be multiple people that can help me. So it's just a great way to collaborate, to share stuff. Unfortunately, this process is not enabled for our Horry County School students at this time, but it is available for all of our teachers and a great way to collaborate and share stuff and get curriculum documents together. But yeah, hope that answers some of your questions today. I'm going to edit this video into a trimmed up version because we have a lot of downtime. So be prepared to look out for a cleaned up one in the near future. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a great day.